Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But a couple of things with just wrapping up in Yale X Fest was I didn't get a lot of talk about the after party. I know they had one. They didn't publicize it too well to us walking through. I knew they'd had one last year, but we didn't find it. So therefore, we didn't get there to see how it was.
They didn't put it. Damn, you can't find it. Then that's a major fail on their part.
I mean, they gave us an envelope. They didn't give us a schedule. They didn't say what happened with it. So we were kind of lost when it came to that part.
That sucks.
Yeah, I believe they expected everyone to have an Android device with Open Scheduler, which is an app. If you have the app, you can see events. And by events, I mean like classes, talks kind of thing. But I don't think they would even put the after party in there.
No, I have it. We used it. I have it on there, and it's not on there. But he talked about it, and we just kind of missed that. So that's one thing, guys. You know, Matt, I'm sure you're listening to this. Lord D, we can do better. But other than that, great time.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. One of the reasons I would like to live closer to any fest would be to volunteer. Like you said, they were short on volunteers. It's, you know, it's like being a police officer at a sporting event. You have to be at the sporting event, yes, but your back is supposed to be towards the sport itself, and you're supposed to be watching the fans, which means you're there, but you don't get to actually partake. That's what it kind of means to be a volunteer at these things, but it's needed. You know, if anything, I would like to at least once every 3 years or something volunteer for a fest, but the closest one is 7+ hours away.
You know, they had Rackspace last year as a big supporter there. They had I don't know a dozen people, and they weren't there this year. And I'm sure his corporate sponsorship had a lot to do with it. And it seemed like there was they didn't have gold sponsors, but still a lot there. Thumbs up to Matt and all his workers.
Very cool. Did they have a survey thing for you at the end? Because I'll say if they don't, I would email him because he's a very open kind of guy.
Yeah, he's already hit me up with Google Plus asking about. I mean, I didn't know he followed me, but he hit me up with Google Plus on Indiana Linux Fest, and they are going to have it on the website now. If they didn't hand anything out that said about following up, but this year was the first year they actually recorded all those and have the presentation. Last year they did audio only, and like he said, I believe in the Hacker Public Radio, they're not out yet. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, HPR, I'm sure will have good stuff about it. Very cool. Well, I'll say if you out there went to ILF and you want to leave us a comment about stuff that you saw, don't hesitate. Shoot us an email at either shoot us an email at podnutz.com.
Good. It works for me.
Yeah, and I couldn't find any girls to tell them I was Steve Cherubino, like Ohio Linux Fest. I'm going to keep trying. You know, they keep coming up to me and asking me, "Are you Steve?" So,
damn.
Do you right, Steve.
I appreciate that. I don't know whether to be happy about that or sad about that you're representing me. I'm happy for you. But Ohio Linux Fest next year, I'm going to have to be myself. So you're going to, I don't know, unless you assume another identity, you're going to have to be yourself too.
Must be the other end of the room. That's all.
There's two Steve Cherubinos. With the real Steve Cherubino, please stand up. That would be fun.
That'd be nuts. And I'll say one of the other good things I found out was our friend Lisa Hendricks from Call That Girl is going to be at OLF this year too.
Cool.
Very cool. She's flying in. I already offered to drive her from the airport to the place.
Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, and like I mentioned before, we haven't had a Podnutz party for a while, so we're going to be doing it at the Ohio Linux Fest. So if anybody wants to meet up and is a follower or listener of Podnutz, then we're going to do it at the Ohio Linux Fest.
Yeah, good times. And I'm here's one of the double things real quick, Jeff. I told my wife for this year for Christmas, all I want, let me go to Ellis's wedding, number one. But it's double reasoned. A, so I can get there, but B, so then I have a good idea of how long it would take and the drive next year to Indiana Linux Fest.
It's a good present.
Yes. Hope
Gotta
to
work
see you
on
there.
It's a goal. I'm shooting hard. Okay. Jeff, I absolutely would love for you to stay on for more of this stuff. And Steve, I know there was way too much content I have in the notes versus how much time we have. So,
Well, we got about 2 emails here. We're at 50 minutes. If you want to go over some stuff, we'll read some emails and we'll end off.
okay, let's just go over 2 real quick. And these were 2 feel good things, I'll say. The first one is 7E Essential Classroom Tools. This is at linuxlinks.com. I don't know if you're able to do this, Steve.
Why?
But tonight was an important night, so I did. I actually went through all 7 of the apps and did a decent amount of research on each one of them. I got to say, 6 of these apps, there's no reason why they should not be used in a educational type environment right now. And the only reason I didn't say 7 is 2 of them were kind of duplicates. 2 of them were computer exams, how to do testing kind of thing. And so you only need 1 of them. But the ones that really stuck out to me was iTalk, which was actually a teacher remote application to where the teacher could be remoted into all of the students' computers at the same time. Okay. And see their screens, basically. See how they're doing the thing.
It's cool looking.
And it's completely cross-platform. She can basically, the teacher can look at Mac, Linux, and Windows computers all at the same time.
Wow, it's crazy. Look at that.
Yeah, this perfect for it, especially younger students.
That's amazing. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, that one kind of knocked me back a little bit. Another one on the list, Moodle is already widely used. Don't be shocked if your teacher gives your kid a link to do something after hours and it's a link to a Moodle site. Okay. It's modular object oriented dynamic learning environment.
Moodle.
So we all understand exactly what it means, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a content management system, but everything's geared towards education and lessons kind of thing. I gotta say, if you at all have education as a task or a goal kind of thing, you need to look at these apps, see if they can help your organization, see if the organization you're going to could benefit from them, or if you want to start your own group of people who want to learn Python or whatever. This is the kind of service that can definitely help you out.
Neat.
Very cool. And the second one, just super quick. It's another kid-focused thing because I got kids. Okay. How to pronounce this? Sorry. It's Doo Linux.
It really is.
It really is. And it's DOUDOU Linux, which, of course, anytime you say doo to a kid, they just start laughing. So that's how you know it's kid-focused. Now, I got to say, I am ecstatic about installing. I literally found this today, installing this on a computer for my children. My son's 7. He hasn't had a lot of computer time. Mainly his computer time is me starting up an application or a isolated web browser in an application called Prism, to where he can only access one page or Tux Paint or Tux Racer, just that kind of stuff. And then I walk away. And then if it crashes or he closes it accidentally, Dad, fix the computer. Okay. With this one, I wouldn't have to do that. It looks pretty customizable. You can put it on a USB stick, which I'll probably do for him, where you have a very simple interface where he can have only selected applications available to launch. And it's a very controlled interface. It's not like he's going to change the network settings or he's going to do other weird things.
It's very cartoony and meant just for that.
Yes. And I believe it's combination safe. Of course, if there's a browser put in there, then it can't be safe. But safe, easy to use, but also flexible enough to where I wouldn't shock me if I can use this on my, maybe not when he's 13, but at least for another couple years.
Yeah. Sweet. Doo Linux. It's amazing.
I know. And it's just called Doo.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, so I had to mention it. Requirements, really quick, super low. 256 megs of RAM, 800 megahertz computer, 800 by 600 display. If your computer's not powerful enough to run this, you need to go get a new computer.
Definitely. Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Should we do a voicemail?
Voicemail. I kind of like voicemail.
Yeah, I kind of like them too. Here we
Hey,
go.
this is for Linux for the rest of us. This is Jeff in Grants Pass, and I have a Raspberry Pi idea I wanted to get Door's thoughts on. Can you make I guess the best way to call it would be a disposable proxy server? Imagine there are things you want to do and not have associated with your IP address, with a small enclosure and a USB to Wi-Fi adapter and some sort of discrete power plug-in. I'm thinking you can make a small box that looks like almost nothing on a wall, which could get ignored, and put it somewhere with open Wi-Fi or, something public access that give you the password. If they're on static IP, great. If not, some way through OpenDNS to get back to it, and a proxy or SSH or VPN, whatever your flavor may choose to be, a way to get to that from wherever you are, and suddenly anywhere in the world you're surfing through that Starbucks IP address. Don't want to really describe what you would do with that. I'll leave that to the imagination. What do you think? $35 Wi-Fi adapter for maybe another 10, 15 for a case and power. Yeah, I think it could work. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Cool. Thank you, Jeff. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
I could see having a case, because it is small, just a little case around it with a little like Altoids tin right next to it with battery pack in it, and honestly see almost covert style going to a Starbucks and sticking it to the underside of a table. And then there's no reason, I don't care what they're blocking at Starbucks, it doesn't matter, okay? Because you can do a reverse SSH proxying tunnel, which basically means once you slap it on the table and leave, that device is then trying to contact you via OpenDNS kind of thing. You get home, boom, 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 port knocking or something, boom, it allows it in. Then your tunnel is through port 80 back through there, so it's like web kind of traffic, and then you have access from there out to anywhere in the world. Not only do I see it as being doable, it's going to be done. Somebody out there is going to do it, no doubt in my mind. A guy at work already said what he wants to do is basically like war driving, but not. He basically wants to be able to like walk by his school, because he already told his teacher, I'm going to hack stuff, because he's in college, and the teacher's like, you can't hack my stuff. He said, oh, I can, kind of thing. So he already said he wants to take the Raspberry Pi, the little battery pack, walk right outside the building, throw the Pi on the ground, basically by the building, cover it up with like leaves, come back the next day, uncover the leaves, take the Raspberry Pi, and then he has a bunch of packets captured from that guy's network. Then he can do offline attacks.
Wow.
It lends itself to this kind of thing, is all I'm going to say.
It sounds pretty wild.
Yeah. And at the same token, you could take Raspberry Pis, daisy chain mesh networking from your house over yards to a church like the guys wanted to do, and do the video camera stuff. I have actually did a little bit more looking into that. Not only is it possible, it's ultra possible with mesh networking kind of thing. to where there's very little work actually involved.